What's going on, Undrafted family? Welcome to episode 7 of the Undrafted podcast. My name is Kevin,
I'm Coach Danny.
My name is Coach Mel.
and we are your Undrafted podcast crew. I'm so
Good
happy to be
morning.
here again. Episode 7, as I stated, super excited for our guest. Super excited to be here with family again. Um, how has your guys' week been? I know that we usually do this on Thursdays, but we're doing this episode on a Sunday, so it's a little easier to talk about how the week has been. How's y'all's week been?
True. It's going very good. Just got some great news. This week has been insane for me. Just being able to get paperwork going, just to get back to work. I've missed already a couple of weeks, but I've been on medical leave for those that don't know. And I'm so excited to be back with my kids. Back to doing what I love.
When is this happening? You're doing what? Say it again.
Okay. I returned back to work on Tuesday, and I'm so excited. It's been long overdue. I'm blessed for the Texaco Conference to have taken me under the wing, really protected me, and I'm really happy for God's grace and protection during this transition in my life. So I'm just so glad to finally be back to do what I love, especially coaching, being with my Wolfpack, SVA Knights, and just ready to do what I love for the person I love most, which is the big man upstairs, man. I'm excited. So thank you guys for your support and prayers, and let's get this show going, man. I've been sleeping too long. Yeah.
For real, man. No, yeah, ditto. I'm just excited for Mel to be back. We are, I think, this is our end of our second week of school. And we've just been training. I've been waiting for Kevin to come back. He was with us. I'm not sure if those of you who don't know. Anyway, Kevin was with us a couple weeks ago, and he was here just briefly, and then he left, disappeared out of our lives, never come back. But that being said, I'm just waiting for Kevin to come back. Bless us with some knowledge. But no, I'm ready to get this year going, man. I'm ready.
For sure.
Yeah, I know for sure. For sure, no, for sure. I mean, I've just been working, learning, soaking everything in, and like Daniel said, I mean, I'm excited for this year. I feel like big things are coming. Not just for us, but I feel like hopefully God can bless us with a better year than we obviously had, which is not hard.
Yes, sir.
But but I'm excited. I'm excited to have our guest today. I'm excited to be able to just sit down and learn. Every day is a new opportunity to learn. So,
yes, sir.
Sure.
so I'm excited and thankful for the opportunity as I always am.
All right.
Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our next segment is brought to you, or this whole segment is brought to you by Smiles Missionary Foundation. Alrighty, this foundation focuses on offering youth and adults the possibility of better education, essential medical care, providing essential nutrition for them. Everybody needs essential nutrition once again. So shout out to Smiles Missionary Foundation. What is it that we typically want to call it all the time? Smiles. What? I almost called it that. Smileys, bro. But no, Smiles Missionary Foundation. Please go and follow them. Please go and donate if you can. Thank you so much. Smiles Missionary Foundation.
Thank you.
All right, it's that time of the show now where we introduce to you our special guest. And for me, it's an honor to be able to share somebody who shares finally my Jersey roots. For those that don't know, I was born in Elizabeth, New Jersey. My sister was born in Newark. So to be able to find somebody, of that same, I don't know, there's something different about Jersey people. We just tough nails, man. We East Coast. We treat life differently. It hits us differently. But before I go in a little more detail about Angie Bermudez, also known as Coach Bay. Okay, we got to get that a little bit more familiarized. She was born originally in Manhattan, New York. She grew up in New Jersey, Jersey City to be exact. And she started playing basketball at the age of 12. From there, she had dedicated her whole life to being one of the most versatile and devoted basketball players, coaches, and also a consultant. She believes in being bold, aspiring, and an empowering woman as well, wherever she is. She has played with the BSNF League, and she's also played with the national Puerto Rican team. She has played in Egypt, Romania, Qatar, Dubai, Mexico, and the list just goes on, which I'm excited to dive into. She believes in teamwork. Respect, integrity, and professionalism. Also, side note, she's also has a degree in criminal justice, and she's working on other business projects that will bring solution to her field and her industry. So that would be also an interesting topic to touch in. She's currently in Oklahoma City. She's partnering with Deer Creek High School as an assistant coach, and currently working on her brand as the face of Advent's Health and Wellness. So definitely right now, more further than ado, we would just want to dive right in with Coach Angie. Here she is, Coach Bay. What's going on? Good morning. How are you doing, fam? How's everything going?
Doing good. How are you, sis?
I'm doing good, man. This is what we've been waiting for. First female on the podcast. It's an honor.
We're overdue. It's been a long time.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, of course. How's your Sunday going so far before we dive in?
Sunday's good. Family over there in the other room, but everything's going chilling. If you hear something, just ignore them. They be in there. So
okay.
We good. All right. So let's just dive in straight into the podcast. I have a question for you that for me, I think is going to hit home is what does the word undrafted mean and signify to you? Because you're a pro. So, this is interesting.
That's very interesting. That's a great question. So nobody knows that I didn't go D1. So I went D3.
Okay.
So then for me to go D3 and still be able to play professionally just shows like anybody can do it who have went undrafted in the league. And it's like I played in Puerto Rico with Erica Wheeler. I'm going to throw a name out there.
Oh, nice. Hey,
yeah, okay. Her and I actually won a championship together in Puerto Rico. Nobody really knows that because I don't throw it out there like that. But like Erica Wheeler she's gone undrafted and everybody knows her story and things like that. So it's just basically somebody who works hard from the bottom and builds their way up and builds their own person and who they are and just continues to work hard no matter what. So I think that's what kind of undrafted means to me.
That's what's up. Okay. With that in mind, because you said a hard worker, I'm actually kind of intrigued because you said it. You were sharing with us that you started playing ball at the age of 12, and I wanted to know what was your high school journey like then before you became a pro? Like, what did you have to work? That you put in the work. What was different? Like at the age of 12, what clicked?
So literally, my first sport I ever played was softball. I didn't even want to play basketball, but when I grew, I guess you could say, one of the coaches, Coach Gonzalez and Coach Mercer, those are my 7th and 8th grade coaches. They were like, hey, you're tall, let's come play basketball. And I was like, but do I really have to? Like, just because I'm tall? So, but then I went and loved it. So then high school, I went to St. Anthony's High School where Bob Hurley coached at. And it was just like the best. I was able to learn under Coach Bob Hurley as well, too, him being coached on the men's side, but just watching him and how he coached the men, it was like, I could play like them too. So I wasn't the best player in high school. I'm not going to sit here and act like I was because I was not. I was a late bloomer, but I worked hard. Like I looked at the seniors and juniors that were ahead of me and I was like, okay, this is what they're doing. Let me do that just a little bit more harder, a little bit more better maybe, and I can be able to get to their level. So that I just always worked hard from a little kid, and I had my parents that supported me no matter what. They pushed me.
East Coast blood, boy.
You know how they played no games. It was a hot day in the summer. Oh, you're going outside to shoot. It could be raining outside. You're still going outside to shoot. You know what I mean? That's just what it was. And it was just a blessing to have parents like that in general.
Amen.
And did you working hard, is that what provided your confidence? Because a lot of people will go, to the gym and, see somebody working out. Okay, I'm going to do that. But it doesn't always necessarily translate. Or, just the confidence could just be lacking. But my question to you would be, when did you get your confidence or, when was it apparent to you like, man, I can do this?
So mine was in college.
Okay.
Late. I had this one coach, still my guy to this day, my mentor. Anything that happens to me, I call him. I'm going to throw him out there. Coach Justin Phoenix, my guy.
Okay.
So Coach Justin, he came in my sophomore year of college. And short backstory, I was the player with the bad attitude.
Yes, sir.
I was probably
passionate.
I was suspended a couple of games. Like I was just that player. So when he got hired on, my head coach told him, "This is your project. You're gonna get her." Like I was his project. So I was like, "What?" So he was like, "And he played."
How old were you? Sorry, how old were you then?
Sophomore. I was probably 19.
Okay.
19.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. 19. Yeah, 19. That sounds good. Came in and like Coach Justin played at Manhattan and the Manhattan University in New York and stuff like that. He played pro too. So it was like when he saw me, he saw him in me, but a female version.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like there were things we would do in practice that when it came time to the game, it would just go all out and I didn't do it. But
oh man.
Why do you do it in practice when in the game you don't? So fast forward, when I had a tryout after my senior year to go play in Puerto Rico, I literally did everything we worked on in practice at that tryout. And he was like, if you would have did that during your 4 years or 3 years at Cuban,
you know what could have happened?
You would have been All-American. You would have been
okay.
And I'm like, well, I did it when it counted.
Yeah.
It was like that. He gave me the confidence to be able to be the player that I was when I went overseas, when I played for the national team. It was like he instilled that in me, and to this day, I'm forever grateful for him.
That's awesome. Shout out to Coach Phoenix, you said? What's his name?
Justin Phoenix. Yep.
Justin Phoenix. Awesome.
I gotta give him a follow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I had something that sorry.
All right.
No, I had something that kind of went with, how you brought up Coach Justin. How important do you think is the development process starting from a young age? Right now I'm in that process of working, with kids as young as, 5th, 6th grade. And these kids are doing moves that I'm just like, wow, some of these moves I can't even do. You know what I mean? It's like, to me, I've, in the short time that I've been here learning, what I've been learning through Ryan, I've noticed the importance of development. So my question to you, you said you were a late bloomer, and I feel like you're not the only one. I feel like there's a lot of people that just, once it clicks, all right, I'm tough, but right now it's like, what, knowing what you know now, how important is that player development?
So I feel like player development is something very important that these kids need to do at a young age, especially if they want to take basketball so serious. Like, I wish I knew what I know, when I first started to now.
100%.
Especially if I would have started younger. If I would have started younger, I probably could have went D1, probably could have played in WNBA and things like that. You know what I mean? But my path is not. But player development, I think it's so important to these kids, but don't have them in the gym doing spin moves that they're like, not a spin moves, but like a move that, they're not going to do in the game.
Yeah.
Make sure they're doing the proper player development that's going to help build them as time goes on. And nothing against trainers. Like, I don't knock nobody. I just want to make sure that they're teaching these kids the proper way of player development. Like I said, nothing against trainers, but some of these videos I'll be watching, they have like garbage cans over here. You're gonna do with this garbage can.
Jump and grab the garbage can. Do a flip.
Like, I'm like, but what is that? What is and so I just like, I had a trainer who was so good, and it was just, I praise him to this day too. And I just want these kids to have the same type of training sessions that I did. That for them.
Okay.
But I will always say, like, player development, like, teach them how to do a right-handed layup, teach them how to do a proper left-handed layup, teach them how to dribble with their right hand, left hand. Because players are so right hand or left hand dominant that when they get older, they're like, oh well, I can't dribble with my left hand. Why not? Because you wasn't taught. You know what I mean? So like,
The
have
fundamentals.
The basics.
Yeah, the fundamentals. Yeah, no, I agree 100%.
100. All right, Coach, let's dig into a little bit of your journey now. It says here, I'm interested in what is the BSNF League.
So that's league. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, you're fine. I was just kind of trying to see like what it meant, and then was that what you were traveling throughout the world? It's different.
So,
okay.
The BSNF was the women's league in Puerto Rico. That was literally the first league I played for professionally.
Okay.
When I did my tryout, it was to go play in Puerto Rico. So I was the number 2 draft pick, in 2011, and I went to go play in San Germán. It was a city in Puerto Rico on the west side.
Okay.
So it was called San Germán Atléticas. So that was the team I went to go play for. I played for them for about 3 years. So I played for BSN.
That's cool. Yeah.
Right. So I played in the Puerto Rico League for a total of 7 years before I retired. So I played 7 years there. First 3 years I was with San Germán. 2 years I was with Ponce.
Okay.
5. And then my last, or 1.5, I was with Ponce. And then like 2.5, I was with Manatí. With Ponce, that's the team I won the championship with. With the other teams, I've always made it to like the semifinals or to the finals and then like lost. But the BSNF is the women's league in Puerto Rico.
Okay, cool. All right. So what is that in Spanish? Do you know what it stands for? Just like we know. Okay. My bad. We'll cut that out. No, I'm just joking. I got it right. Okay. What is it?
I got it.
Okay, what is it?
It's Baloncesto Superior Nacional Femenino.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah, so this is one of my old pictures.
Okay. Nice.
And that's what it is.
Nice. Okay. And so then you were in that professional team in Puerto Rico, but how did you come about to travel to all these other areas and places?
So the women's team in Puerto Rico was normally from either like July or August to November or December. So then when I went to go play in those other countries, it was in the second half of the year. It was like January to May and things like that. But like also with like the national team, we've traveled everywhere. Like I can pull out my passport and it's like stamped. So tight. You know, we played in all these tournaments and just things like that. But the BSNF was just the league in Puerto Rico.
Okay. That's something new. That's cool. I definitely want to catch a game down there or something. That'd be interesting. Yeah.
I always tell people, and you don't need a passport to go to Puerto Rico. That's why I always tell people go and travel. Like you can still go and travel there, and it's so beautiful. It's my family's homeland. On my mom's side, everybody's from Aguadilla, which is from the west side, and then on my dad's side, they're from Bayamon, which is on the east side.
Okay, nice. Kevin, didn't you live in Puerto Rico for a little bit?
I was hoping you didn't bring that up. But yeah, no, I did.
Okay, what are you saying?
No, I wasn't saying it like in a bad way. I was just saying because I get they just know how I get, and that's why they do it. But no, yeah, I lived in Coupe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was there when I was younger. So I went to a school called Bonneville. I don't know if you heard of it.
I never heard of it. But...
Yeah, but it's like all right there, and then it's like San Juan and all that stuff. Yeah, but my stepmom's actually from Mayagüez.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it's further.
San Germán, they became Mayagüez Indias.
Okay. Oh, so they became from that team. They became okay. Cool. Awesome.
And with Puerto Rico in mind, since we're talking about La Isla del Encanto, what was the best experience you had playing for the Puerto Rican national team?
Okay, so I have two.
Okay.
My first one was when we won our gold medal back in 2011.
All right. Oh, okay. Where did you guys win that?
So that was in Guadalajara, Mexico.
Ooh, nice.
So it was which tournament was this? It was the Pan American tournament.
Okay.
So we had to beat Brazil, and on Brazil they had Erica de Souza. They had what's the one big girl? I forget her name. She plays for Minnesota. That post player, but they had her. They had like 3 WNBA players on their team, and so like that was like a big win for us. And I want to say we won by 1 point. Like last season, it was just like I have pictures that you see us jumping up and down. Like it was a big win. And then in the championship, we played Mexico. We're in Mexico playing Mexico.
Wow.
So the crowd, the energy, just everything about that game was.
Is that your toughest crowd, you would say?
Yes.
For sure.
Wow.
Yes, you're playing the home team in their country.
Yeah.
Like, okay, the whole crowd.
Horns, I bet.
Like every time they would score, all you hear is wow, like everybody go crazy, and I'm just saying,
no.
Like this is my first year on the national team. I'm a young kid out of college. I don't know any better, things like that. So like I'm on the bench looking like, wow. I mean, I played,
Yeah.
but I didn't play like, a lot of minutes, but I still got in. I scored 4 points. We're going to throw that out there.
Hey.
What's up? That's what's up.
I'm going to count it. But it was the fact that like that crowd was, and then fun fact too, our men's team won the gold medal that year as well.
Oh,
Who
snap.
was on that team?
On the men's team, they had Jesse Barea, Carlos Arroyo.
Okay.
They had all of them. Ronaldo Bachman, Danny Santiago.
Household names.
Did they have Lari Ayuso at that time?
Yes, that man could shoot. He's a legend, but they had all of them on there. So it was like both of us winning was like a big thing. So that one was the first one. And then my second one was my last year on the national team before I retired was we had qualified for the World Championship. And then we came in third place, but you needed to either be 1, 2, or 3. So we won the bronze medal qualifying for it. So that was like my top 2 experiences on the national team. Shout out to my national team though, because they are in the Olympics this year. Tokyo 2021, holla at them.
Heck yeah, I might go for Puerto Rico. Yeah.
There just to see it, but shout out to them because they've been working really hard. I'm so proud of how they have grown up, how we have built the what's the word I'm looking for? Build the national team up from when I first started to now. Like literally, we won this gold medal and then we won, and then now they're in the Olympics. I'm just so proud of that staff, proud of what they have done, just everything about it. Shout out to Puerto Rico. Hey,
that's awesome. Shout out to Puerto Rico. I'm excited for now seeing them against USA and all these other big teams. Heck yeah, that's awesome.
It's gonna be good.
Now on the flip side of all the success, was there ever a moment like of doubt while you were playing, or like while you might have gone through a slump and you're like, man, can I really do this? Is this really, built for me?
So I want to say back in 2015 or 16, I found out I had a heart condition, but it wasn't bad. So but I continued to play because my doctor said you're still good or whatever. But when I found out about it, I was like, you don't play with your heart.
Yeah, exactly.
And then seeing all these players and what they have went through, so what I have is called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. So it's my left valve is thicker and it takes longer for blood to pump through. But when it was back then, they just thought it wasn't a regular heartbeat. Yeah. So I was still able to play. So when I found that out, I was I had a long conversation with my mother, sat her down. I said, Mom, what do I do? I don't know what to do. Do I give up? Do I continue to play?
Yeah.
And she was just like, baby girl, she called me baby girl, baby girl, just pray about it. So I literally cried in my room, prayed about it, talked to God. And I was like, what do I need to do? And I continued to play for 2 more years. And those 2 more years that I continued to play were probably the best 2 years of my life playing. That's when I was go play in Romania. I broke records playing in Romania, rebounding, things like that. And then that last year with the national team was when we qualified for the World Championship. So those last 2 years, I feel like God was telling me, go out with the bang, and then boom, do what you do best.
That is powerful.
Sorry to hear that though, but I mean, at least you're safe, first and foremost.
I just would say that I'm blessed when I found out what it was at the end. I found out at a good time. I didn't find out because a lot of these players who do have what I have, they normally find out when they pass out and, God rest their soul when they die and things like that. So it's I thank God every day that I didn't have to put my family through that. And I found out sooner than later.
To get a little bit now into your coaching experience. We want to first talk to you about, first of all, what is your ultimate goal in the field of coaching? What are you trying to reach?
What I want, I want to be a head coach. That is my goal, to be a head coach one day. But I also I've been talking to my mentors and stuff like that, and I low-key want to transition to the men's side. Ooh. And not a lot of people know that, but there was this combine that I coached at this past summer in Houston. It was called the Overseas Combine. One of my friends, he runs it, Antonio De Pena, and he runs it. And I was just he was like, hey, come out and coach this men's combine. And I said, sure. So when I was out there coaching the men, and I was I could do this. Like they literally listened to me. They were engaged in everything that I was saying. Like when I was like, hey guys, let's do this. Like I drew up a play, they did it, da 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 da. And it was just like, wow.
Becky Hammond status.
Like I didn't have that. And I don't know because maybe because they're like, oh, she a female coach, let's just listen to her, blah, 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 maybe because she's pretty. But no. I'm not sure guys were thinking, but I just felt like, man, they were really engaged in what I was saying. So I was like, I think I can do this. And then seeing all the other female coaches now in the NBA, it's so inspiring. And I'm like, I could do that for sure.
Is your goal with the coaching? Do you want to coach like Division I, Division II, high school? Do you want to coach pro? Like what? I know you said you got that opportunity to coach the overseas and stuff like that. So obviously those guys are elite. It doesn't matter if they're not in the NBA, they're still elite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Professional's professional.
Yeah.
So as far as being like a head coach, what I want to coach?
Yeah, because I know you said that your end goal was being a head coach. Does it matter at what level?
So end goal being a head coach, I would probably say it doesn't matter. Like, but so now that I coach high school, I would be lying if I say I have the patience for high school because I really don't. It would probably have to be like college. I don't want to sit here and lie to y'all.
No, it's cool.
Because I love my girls to death, but I don't have the patience sometimes. So I would probably say like college and above.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. And what's kind of like, since you brought that up about patience, what's kind of been the hardest thing for you from, because it's different when you play college ball and then you go into coaching. It's different when you play professional at whatever level. So what's been the hardest challenge for you to come from such a high level to now having to teach the game?
I think is like, because my IQ is so high, I wish I can give it to the kids. Like, when I watch them play and like I give them advice, and then when they go out there and do it, I'm like, yes. They're listening. But then when they go out there and they do like a turnover and they do like something else, and I'm just like, that is not what I said to do. I said. And then I look like I'm the assistant, so then I look at the head coach and he's looking at me and I'm like, I didn't say that. I'm just like, I think it's literally, now that I coach in high school, my patience have gotten better because I'm like, okay, they're in high school, they're younger. I have to not dumb it down, but like kind of dim it down so they can understand the length, make it easier for them so they can understand, like, hey, when you go in there, you see how she's playing you this way, cross over, you're going to get to the lane and this, that, like just trying to make it easier for them to understand the language, because it's different at the college level a little bit. It's different at the pro level. You know what I mean? So kind of just dim it down and make it easier for them.
Yeah. That's why I brought up not only this question, but as well as the player development question, because I feel all that is kind of like, it's steps to getting to the next level. And I feel now more than ever, I see how important that player development is, because you can have kids who just start doing the player development and they probably don't have the talent that this other kid has, but they're putting in that work, and they're coachable. I feel like that's the recipe to a D1 athlete right there.
See, since I've coached at the D1 level, I would take a coachable like kid that doesn't have the skill set of a monster kid, because I know I can develop them into that player. You know what I mean? Like that skilled player, yes, is probably going to help my program and make my program great, but are they going to listen? Are they going to be like a cancer to the team and just think it's all about them and things like that? Because you have certain players like that. So I would rather take not like a coachable kid where I can develop them into the player that I know they can be.
Yeah, you're not the only person that has said that. Not in general, not only on this podcast, but in general. So I mean, it's a proven fact.
Yeah.
Yes. What was it like to transition from a D1 college coaching opportunity and then going to high school, and like what you learned so far? Like what have you grasped besides patience, so you can get ready for your head coach job? I guess you know what I mean.
Right. What I've learned is like you have to really be engaged with these kids. Like build that. Yes, you're their coach, but also build that relationship with them where they trust you and they can come to you and talk to you and say, "Hey, Coach B, I'm going through this. And I'd be like, okay, what's up? Let's talk about it. Because then on the court, when you like have to yell at them, or if you have to, you know, instruct them, they're going to have that trust with you, and they're not going to think like, man, Coach B is on my butt.
Yeah.
Like, no, so it's about that patience like that. And then I've also learned to have patience with parents. We're not going to talk about that much, because some of these parents being in the streets wilding. So I have to learn how to have patience with them, especially at the high school level, because it's just like you have to learn what to say and what not to say. So that's why, because you know that Jersey wants to come out of me. And I'm like, hello, your kid is, you know, but you can't say that. So just learning that patience with parents as well.
Okay. That is huge, because because I would like to be a collegiate coach, and I've been in this high school realm for a little while now, you know, and so more and more I can feel you when you say about, you know, parents and boundaries and what you can say and advice you can like not overstep what they have to yet say, you know, and then also like the opportunity to learn that relationship now early. Especially when the child is that young, I think it can go a long way. Like you said, development is made, trust is made. And I guess that's how you win, you know, when you win in life and on the court. I think that's the recipe of that trust, you know?
So what are we exactly training for?
Mm-hmm.
We
Do you ever reveal?
What? Like just me working out?
Well,
yeah, it seems like more so purposeful. Like it's to get, you know,
so
like trying to get something.
I have my heart condition. So I've always told myself I want to be like healthy and just trained to be like, so my thing is too, if my players see that, hey, Coach B is working out and she's training, I need to go to the gym as well. So like, that's my, like to show example to my players, like even me at 31, I can still get out here and give y'all buckets.
Yeah.
Like, it's because I'm working out and working hard. I'm in the gym, you know, doing weights and doing that and third. So it's just basically showing that example to my kids that if I can do it, so can you.
Okay. And in a perfect world, would there be a comeback?
Yes, of course. What? I could play to this day. I will come back so fast. Like I will be out there, even if I'm huffing and puffing. If God said, "Hey, your heart is good," sign me up.
Amen. That's tight.
Okay.
Well, Dev had that in prayer, but I think that's also a great message you share with us, because that also makes us stay on top of our game too, as mentors, as coaches, and disciplines. Like you said, we gotta get buckets still on the men and be that example.
You can't tell your players like, hey, go and lift weights, and you're not showing them like that you're doing it too. Because I mean, that's just how I was. Like, to me, when I was in college, my trainer or my coaches, I would see them in the gym, and I'm like, oh shit, my coach is in the gym. Let me go in the gym now too. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to instill that into my players as well, so then they can have the same mindset. Like, oh, Coach B is in the gym. I'm going to the gym now. You know?
Yeah. That's a domino effect. It follows, and they'll follow that. All right, Coach, we've come now to the ending of our segment of our show, which is the fun part. It's this or that. But before we say our goodbyes to you and much more, we just want to say this has been fun to just talk to a pro athlete of like yourself, and listen to your journey, the testimony of your heart and how you're still going at it. I mean, it's great. I love it. Keep growing. You have our full support. And thanks for being here to share your testimony with all of our fan base.
Thank you guys for having me, especially being the first female. I'm forever grateful that you guys gave me this opportunity to talk about my story. I hope it touches, even if it touches one person, that it touches someone, and that anybody can write me. You can hit me up on all my social media outlets. I am the coolest person. Just hit me up, write me. I don't care if you have any questions.
Thank you.
I'm there.
Nice, awesome. It helps. This is episode 7, correct? So episode 107, she'll be back for sure.
Okay. Let's go.
We already got in the books.
All right, Coach. This or that. We're gonna put timer on the clock, which we will put now. All right. We have this or that. Okay. WNBA or NBA?
WNBA.
NCAA women's or WNBA?
NCAA women's.
Okay. Steelers or Nets?
We're going with the Nets because I love KD.
Okay, we'll go Nets. All right. Coke or Pepsi?
Neither.
Okay.
What drink do we prefer?
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper.
Nice. Nice.
Dr.
Okay,
Pepper.
cool. All right. Ball shoes or ball slides after a long day. Okay. Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Ooh, okay.
I didn't remember the show, sorry. But YouTube.
Okay. Okay, and then before you build your team, cardio or weights?
Cardio.
Oh, you prefer cardio over weights?
Yeah. I'm gonna lie, I hate weights, but cardio for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we come to the part where you can build your top 5 WNBA team.
Ooh.
And then we can do your top 5 men's NBA team.
And you can put yourself in there if you want to.
Yes.
Because a professional is a professional. For us, a professional is a
I
professional.
like the top 5 players.
Okay. If you don't want to do like positions and like who your starting 5 are, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, because a lot of my players, like they're all, All right, so
Yeah.
players, this is not in any order. For the women's, we're gonna go with Cheryl Swoops, Cynthia Cooper, Diana Taurasi,
Let's go.
Simone Augustus, and Maya Moore.
Okay.
Maya Moore.
I haven't heard Maya Moore yet. I respect that.
Girl,
Okay. Who's your favorite one out of those 5?
Simone Augustus. Like I've loved her since she was at LSU, and I just like she's been my favorite player forever. Everybody knows how much I love her. So yeah.
I love Augustus. And she's still hooping, right? She hasn't retired yet, so she's still with us.
No, I don't know. I mean, she went to LA and then, played this 1 year with LA. I don't know if they're going to bring her back. I don't know if she's going to retire, but I watch her talk every Tuesday on her little Instagram.
Yeah,
live.
me too. Mm-hmm.
I haven't said anything about retiring yet, so
Okay.
I hope.
Yeah, I hope not either. Okay, and now your top 5 of the NBA men's.
All right, we're going to go with, again, in no particular order, we're going to go with, Michael Jordan, the GOAT. Kobe Bryant right after him. And then Tim Duncan. I was a post player, so I love Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett. So those 2 players were like my guys. And then last but not least, my guy, Kevin Durant.
Yes, sir.
What about LeBron? We're top 5.
So are you a Nets fan?
So yes, I love the Nets when they were first in New Jersey, when they had Jason, like the old Kenyon Martin,
Richardson, Jefferson,
like that squad. When they lost to the Lakers 2 years in a row in the finals, like back in 2004, those years, I was the biggest Nets fan. Yeah. And then when they went to Brooklyn, I was like,
Yeah, what's the feeling over there? Is it like?
But now that my guy KD is back, is on the Nets, I was like, what? I guess I could be a Nets fan again.
And Harden to the Nets. What do you feel about that?
After yesterday's game, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Okay.
We still gotta wait for Kyrie and see how all 3 of them mesh together. But him and James Harden, when they were at OKC, it was like they were good.
Yeah.
So we just need to see how Kyrie fits in that little equation. And then ask me the next game when Kyrie.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to catch up with you to see how you feel about the Nets looks once he comes through. That's be different. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had the same feeling you did. I keep telling my husband, I don't feel like no one believes me, but as soon as the Nets left Jersey, there was like no significant meaning anymore that they're Jay-Z's team. So I was just like, man, how am I supposed to accustom to this? And then I was just like, whatever.
It's just being, a Jersey girl, I was like, yeah, the Nets, we got a basketball team. And then when they went to New York, I'm like, I was born in New York, but I was still raised in Jersey. So it was like, that's why people like, oh, aren't you a Giants fan or a Jets fan? And I'm like, no, they play in New Jersey, but it says New York Giants, New York Jets.
Yeah.
Very good. So just putting it out there. Yeah.
I loved your top 5. I'm a big KG fan too. So I love that you had him in there. And I'm a Lakers fan, so I guess I kind of like LeBron, but I like the fact that you didn't have him in your top 5. So we're friends. We're friends on those 2 bases.
Yeah.
But on behalf of not only us 3, but just the Undrafted podcast family, we thank you, for taking the time out, and just blessing us with your knowledge and your experience, and and just what you've been through, and just hopefully being that inspiration, even if it's just to one person, whether it's a male or female. I think that's always the key to what we're doing as coaches and as mentors. So, I mean, on my behalf, I appreciate it. I was soaking. I didn't really talk that much because I was just trying to listen and take everything in, but I really appreciate it. I know Daniel and Melly did too, and everybody that's going to watch this. So thank you. That's all I really can say. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Coach Bay, Coach Angie.
Before we leave, I want to say I hope people don't think I say Coach Bay because like I'm a pretty girl. The Bay is actually an acronym for bold, aspiring, and empowering, and that's why. So I just wanted to throw that out there so everybody knows what it actually stands for.
Okay. Well, I like Coach Bay because
for the
trolls. All right, Coach, have a great Sunday, great rest of your afternoon. Thank you so much again for joining us. And stay posted for us to post this live for your audience and for us too, and for our fans. And thank you so much for your presence. Good luck in this season for Deer Creek, correct? Deer High School?
Deer Creek. Shout out to Deer Creek. I already like Deer Creek. I already like Deer Creek. That was my middle school. So shout out to Deer Creek. Shout out to them. Let them know.
All right. We'll see you later, Coach. Have a good one. Thank you again. We'll catch you later, man. All right. Bye-bye. Woo, fellas, what an interview. Man, I'm hyped just to be able to share a sis of my own, from the East Coast and to see her grind, see her become successful and come out from, I know the trenches of Jersey, man. There's some areas that are rough. And I know that it takes a lot, for people to be like, you know what, life against me, I got this, So I'm happy that we got Coach Angie here with us and her success and her presence of testimony that we got to take in.
And she said, it was awesome. An important thing she said she was not D1, she was D3, correct?
D3. Mm-hmm.
And then she became professional. So boys and girls, it's all about work. I mean, she said it, first and foremost, you work hard and long enough. I mean, success will come. Success will come for sure.
It just shows you that if you work hard, I mean, it doesn't matter what level you play. You can reach that professional level no matter what. If you started playing in high school or in middle school or whenever, if you have that work ethic and you're putting in the work and developing your game and working on your craft, I mean, you can be a pro. So like Daniel said, just make sure that we take these concepts that we have from our guests and hopefully you guys are able to learn a little bit from everybody. So I really enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, everyone have a great Sunday. Thank you again for tuning in with us. We can't wait to see y'all next week with Coach Chelsea Muir. Undrafted out. This is Coach Mel Tarasi.
This is Coach Danny.
And this is Coach Kev.